You clicked on this video because you're lonely. Or maybe you're just sick and tired of your lame ass friends and you just want to make some new ones. Well, I'm here to help. When you talk about relationships between people, whether it's with, um, the opposite sex, a girl, a guy, just anyone, right? It's all about energy. And it took me so long to figure this out. Like, I'm 33 right now, and maybe I knew about it, but I didn't actually think about it. Everything in life revolves around self love. What do I mean? Especially with a relationship, self love is so important. It's the type of energy that you cultivate when you actually just like being in your own skin. You're comfortable being with yourself. And that energy is the type of energy that people feel when you are trying to make friends, right? Or you're trying to get a girlfriend. Whatever the case may be, they feel this. And maybe it's easier to look at it from the other point of view. It's like when you lack self love, you're basically like this really needy person. And no one wants to be around a needy person because what these people do is they're manipulative and they will get themselves in a situation just because they need something from the other person, whether it's attention, time, love, what's the confirmation, validation, right? These are the things that a needy person, when they don't have self-love, they will try to rob it from the other person. And you can instantly feel this when you get in a social scenario. The people that like talk over other people, or they're constantly asking these questions that basically they need to validate themselves and their ego. And the best advice I can give to you is that in the beginning, maybe you need to journal, right? Write about the things that happened in your childhood that make you feel less than. Because the truth of the reality is you are limitless. You are this abundant type of energy. Like, you don't need love from anyone else. You are everything. You are loved. It's just that we lose sight of this through the experiences that happen typically in childhood, from the way that our parents speak to us, from the way that our friends speak to us, whether it's bullies who don't know any better and are just picking on you because they're trying to bring you down so that they can bring themselves up. It's a lot of this stuff that goes on in childhood that in your formative years will carry on into your 20s, 30s, 40s, and even later if you don't address them at the earlier stages, right? So what are some of the best things that you can do? You can journal. You can journal about it to better understand yourself. But for more concrete advice on how I learned to make friends was whenever I meet someone in public, I, generally, you want to smile. People love people that are positive, right? So first things first, smile. Just pretend that you're happy. And in pretending that you're happy, you're going to end up being happier. You're going to end up being more enjoyable to be around. Because no one wants to be around someone who's negative, who's like frowning all the time and complains about life, right? So that's first thing. Just smile. The second thing, to be more liked, just remembers people's names. Like, I don't know how many times you've met someone and instantly you just forget their name. It happens probably 95 to 99% of the time. And for me, it was 100% of the time when I was smoking weed. So ever since I stopped smoking weed, I've actually been able to remember a lot of people's names. And the way that I do this is when I meet them, I'll shake their hand and they'll tell me their name. And I'll say their name once back to them, and I'll say it 2 or 3 more times in my head. And then when I leave the social situation and I say bye to them, I will say their name out loud again. This has helped me dramatically. And why would you do this? Because people's names are like one of the most important things, right? That's the one thing that has been with them their entire life. That's their identity. And when you, because so many people forget people's names instantly, when you remember someone's name the next time, the second time that you meet them, they will be like, they will be caught off guard in a way. They'll be wowed. They'll be surprised. They will have this emotion that sparks because you remembered their name. So it's a small little tip that makes people like you more. And the last tip I will share with you is people love talking about themselves. They absolutely love it. And the more that they talk to themselves about, or talk to you about themselves, the more they're going to like you. So generally, when I meet people, I just let them talk, right? Because I know this, and my ego doesn't need any validation. I just let them talk. Yeah, what do you want to talk about? Just let them vent. Because when people speak and they tell you about themselves and you listen, what they feel is they feel that they are understood and they're heard, which, again, it's very different from the normal interaction with people, because generally they're going to meet people who have egos that need validation, that they need to speak, that they need to be heard themselves, right? So what they generally meet, they'll meet people that want to like talk about themselves more, and they don't let them speak, right? So just basically do the opposite of most normal people, and you're going to end up really making a lot of friends, right? Smile more, remember people's names, and just listen. Just let people speak. And the last thing I can tell you is, if you give people compliments that aren't expecting it, they're going to really like you. And I don't mean by a compliment that like isn't genuine, right? For instance, I was in Long Beach a few months ago, and I was walking past this woman, and I looked at her hair. She had this really like, what would you call it? Plump. It just like, it had so much volume in her afro, right? And it was just like beautiful. It was just beautiful. And of course, I can never grow an afro, right? So I was like, wow, your hair looks amazing. And I said something like, I wish I could grow an afro like that. And then she just laughs, smiles, and like gives me, like, thanks for making my day or something like that, right? And the thing is, it's also something that humans love, is they love to be praised and complimented. And when you hear it from a random stranger, it's even better, because just think about that. Maybe she was having a bad day, and you're walking down the street and some random stranger compliments her on how beautiful her hair is, or how beautiful someone's shoes is or dress. And it's something that they actually take pride in. Think about how you're making that person feel. And it came from a genuine place, So those are the 4 tips that I have for you to make more friends. Um, yeah, that's it. If you like this video, give me a subscribe, and I will see you on the next one.